don't even know. Let's talk about vampires. Part 1. This is going to be so fun. Welcome back to my channel. This is the Mr. Horror, DL Tillery. And before we get started, how about you press that subscribe button, give this video a like, and ring that bell so you know when I'm uploading new videos. Alright, so we're talking about vampires today. And just to let you know, this is going to be a part 1 because there's so much to talk about vampires. And this is going to be my kind of rant thing. There are going to be people that's not going to like this. They're not going to like what I say. But you don't have to like everything everyone says. You don't have to agree. You can do you, and I'll do me. I'm just saying. So, there's been more talk about vampires a little lately because if you haven't heard, Stephenie Meyers released the new version of would-be Twilight, but through Edward's eyes, the main character, if you don't know Edward Cullen. And I did get a copy. Of course, I pre-ordered it because I have everything vampire-esque. And I did like Twilight. I mean, there's people that don't like Twilight, and there's people that do like Twilight. I mean, if you don't like Twilight, you don't like Twilight. That's fine. You don't have to like Twilight. No one's making you. Calm down. But I also took Twilight for what Twilight was. And, you know, there's some people that's going to argue, like, it's not really romance, it's an abusive relationship. Okay. Let's get into that a little bit. You can have your opinion about that. That's fine. I'm not going to stop you from having your opinion. I have friends who have that opinion, which is fine. But I don't have that opinion. You know why? Because I'm removing myself from my world and going into a fictional made-up world of vampires. Honestly, if there are vampires going around our actual world, we don't know about it really, because obviously we don't. Or we'd be talking about it on the news probably. They wouldn't let it go. Because humans don't like anything that's different than them. I'm just saying. I mean, they barely can like themselves. That's a little bit different than them. So, I'm just saying. But I can, as a fiction writer, remove myself from when I'm writing as much as possible. And then when I'm reading other writers' stories, I also don't depict myself into the story, nor do I bring in my belief system either. Like, never do that. I don't do that. But some people, it's hard to do that. So this thing about the relationship being abusive, I mean, I didn't get that. Maybe because I'm seeing it through what a supernatural being possible way of seeing things would be. Being a vampire that's lived for over 100 years, because Edward is actually a baby vampire. Let's be honest, he's a baby vampire. He has, like, I think he turned into a vampire when he was like 17 or something like that. And he's been alive for he's been a vampire for like 100 years, I believe. And so he's like only like 100, so he's 117. Relax, calm down, I'm not right on the number. But he's in the hundreds zone. We have people on our planet that's in their hundreds. They have a lot to say. But I mean, he's in a different world. He's a vampire, so that means he has to drink blood, or try his best not to drink blood in this case. It's still he wants to drink blood. But the fact of the matter is, he's a vampire that doesn't drink blood. Okay, so he doesn't drink human blood, I should say. And, you know, his relationship with a human, it's gonna probably come off somewhat abusive to some people because they're like, you know, what am I supposed to do with that? What am I supposed to do with that? Like, do you know that relationship? Have you ever come across that relationship? I doubt it. Did you know a vampire is in a relationship with a human? I mean, I don't know any. I mean, because if you do, let me know in the comments, because, okay, that's cool. Vampire. Yay! Like, what do you have to compare it to? You're comparing it to human relationships, right? So you're saying, like, some of these instances of their relationship is very human-esque. Of course, because there's a human in the relationship. So I would need really detail of what you found abusive. Are you talking about what? I would really need somebody to explain that part to me. Well, you know, they're going to have their opinion. I don't mean I'm going to agree with it, but I'm just saying. So then another thing that they said was like the scene in the book, or this movie, for instance, where Bella's so devastated. I'm sorry if you haven't read Twilight at this point, spoiler alert. Pause the video. Stop. Don't look any further. All right, I gave you a warning. So Bella's in the book when they break up. He breaks up with her because he feels that he's putting her in danger by being with her. So she's devastated to the point of like someone's dead. So she's grieving the loss of him because she's in love with him to this point. And they're like, oh, please. Like, oh, please. Like, this is lame. Like, who cares about someone that much to that point? So someone breaks up with you and leaves you. Like, she's so devastated. Like, we're trying to make the... So they go into this whole spew. Like, if you've never been in love with someone to that degree, how would you know? Also, have you lost someone or someone left you to the point that you were in love with them and then they left you? Have you ever been through that? Oh, you haven't? Then be quiet. Or you have and you didn't feel the same way. Doesn't mean that that person's feelings aren't relevant. So the character's feelings were relevant for her situation and what she felt. Okay, leave that because you have no way of saying she didn't feel that or is fake or whatever. You don't have any way of proving that. So let's just move on. Then, let's not get into the other stuff. Like, sparkling vampires, I have a problem with that. Be like, just so you know, that's not the first time that's been made. Read vampire lore, like, research, study. There's so many things about vampires that was out there before Stephanie ever wrote her book. She said, I never read a vampire thing, but I don't believe that for a minute. But seriously, though, she didn't make that up. She didn't make it up. She may have tried to depict it differently, but she didn't make that up. The diamond look under the skin and it's sparkling from the sun hitting it because it's diamond, because their bodies are hard from death, from a half-death. So that's the whole concept of why it's sparkling. I mean, you can take out the word sparkling if it offends you so much and bothers you so much that their skin is sparkly. Like, relax, humans, for like 5 seconds, okay? It's not that big a deal. Different things exist. Well, I prefer my vampires like this. Okay, well then go look at that. I'm sorry. Things being different in different aspects makes the world go round. So relax for a minute. Okay. I honestly don't see, and I never understand when people want to beat something down in order to like something else. Like, if you like the other thing, that's cool. Like the other thing. But I don't see why you need to bring up the other said thing to make your thing seem better. Just like that thing. And this goes with any entertainment. Like, if you like a book or a movie or a video game or whatever, you don't need to bring up another of those aspects from another game or movie or book and say, well, this one is better because this one blah blah blah. Like, you don't need to do that. You can just actually go like the thing. You don't need to hate another thing to make your thing better. Stop. It's not needed. Like, if I didn't like Twilight, I would just not like Twilight. I wouldn't say, well, you know what? This movie over here is 1,000,000 times better than Twilight. I like my vampires to do this. Yeah, okay, I like vampires to flip around and wear black and leather and chains and be cool looking in my concept. But I still didn't dislike Twilight. I took it for what it was. Okay, this is her version of a vampire, and they're in a romantic relationship, and it's mostly about their love story. It's not a love story, it's an abusive story. Like, okay. Can we just not? Can we just not? You know what I mean? Like, it's not even about that. Like, there are all types of relationships in the world. You don't have to like them all. You don't have to like how someone feels while in that relationship. It's not you in a relationship. So, okay. We know that there's abusive relationships. That's your concept of an abusive relationship. Okay. They have some aspect of abuse in it. Okay. Like, again, do you know another vampire in a human relationship? I don't know. Those don't exist. So, what you're doing is you're taking our human issues that do exist and people actually going through these things, and you're putting them in a fictional story saying you can't enjoy this because you feel this way. Okay, you can't enjoy it, but don't try to knock somebody else for liking it because they didn't see things the way you saw them. Everyone sees things through their eyes the way they see them. Doesn't make it irrelevant or stupid or whatever. You can feel how you feel, and I feel how I feel, and that person over there feels how they feel. You really don't have to hate something to like something else. You don't have to belittle something because you like something else that's similar, or you think you can bring this up and say, this is better than this. Please stop with the better than this thing. It's really annoying and childish. I'm sorry, but it is. You want to tear something down? I can tear all kinds of vampire stuff down. Buffy, Angel, Interview with the Vampire, which I cannot stand, by the way, and that's gonna be a thing. Like, people are like, what? You don't like Interview with the Vampire? I like Interview with the Vampire, the book. The movie is a totally different thing because the casting was terrible. I said it. Casting was terrible. They literally had, at that time, who was the popular hot guys, and was like, let's pick all the hot guys and put them in vampire roles because obviously they can play them. Really, no. Really, no. Tom Cruise is the worst Lestat ever that happened to Lestat. No, Stuart Townsend wasn't, in my opinion. Stuart Townsend did it better. Tom Cruise didn't even know how to even be a vampire. It was so annoying and so bad to watch. It was like terrible. And I like Tom Cruise in his spy movies. He's a good actor. He does his job. But seriously, Tom Cruise, don't ever play a vampire again, please, for my own sanity. I cannot take it. No. And I like Antonio Banderas and Brad Pitt. Please don't ever get them to play vampires again. Please just do not do that. It was not good. This was not good. So I don't like Interview with the Vampire, the movie. Get that clear. And people are like, well, I like Queen of the Damned. Usually people who like Queen of the Damned don't like Interview with the Vampire. And hey, there are some people who like both. But I mean, I've watched it. I've seen it quite a few times. I don't like it. I like Queen of the Damned though. And they were like, what? That was crap. I'm like, nope, don't think so. I don't think there's enough story in there. It's a movie. What do you want? Do you expect the whole book in there? How many movies have destroyed the book version by cutting everything up? Well, not destroyed the book version, destroyed the movie version. So, I like Queen of the Damned. I think Stuart Townsend was a better Lestat. The main character is very important to me, especially when you talk about the casting. Just like you don't like Twilight, I don't like Interview with the Vampires. I don't tell you. But I must say, at least Twilight was close to the Twilight book. Interview with the Vampire, that's a rough one. Queen of the Damned, I like better. I'm a goth too, though, so I would. And then, of course, there's Underworld. I like that, but it's werewolf and vampire, more mixture of that. My generation of cool is goth and leather and metal music and stuff like that. And this generation is completely different concept, of what cool is. I'm not going to think any of that's cool. I think what I think is cool, I don't think cool is even a word that's being used anymore. That's like from the 90s kids, like, whatever. That's all I'm saying. That era's over, I guess, but that's cool. I'll keep mine. Well, this is like my first rant for vampires. I really can't with people saying that. I can tear down Angel and Buffy for sure. Honestly, when Blade and Buffy came around, kind of messed up vampire thing. I'm just saying. Like, and I like Blade, and I like Buffy a little bit. Liked Angel more. But seriously, though, some of the things that they started doing with vampires is just lame. I'm sorry, it's very lame. At least Blade had a little bit more excuse because he's using vampire-laced, like, type of weapons with, like, sunlight and all that jazz. Like, but still was lame. As far as, like, how they kill vampires. Like, boo, lame. They must have just been, like, cockroaches or something. Like, you kill them so easily. Like, who cares? Okay, but then Buffy just had to take it another step. Boom, let me kick this chair. I have a piece of wood. Boom, you're dust. Like, that was the lamest thing ever, history ever. Like, the vampires, just cat-faced vampires too, mind you. Like, that was like, and everybody's lame. Like, maybe I liked some of the old things about some of the vampire lore that I knew. But that whole new type of stuff that they were making up, like, sticking a vampire. Don't get me started about True Blood. I cannot with that. That made it even worse. Like, it kept getting worse. Kept getting worse. Oh, let's shoot you with a wooden bullet. Oh, your blood splattered on the floor. Like, no, okay. Look, I'm going to have to stop this rant because I'm about to go on forever. I'm going to need a part 2 for me to continue on this rant. But my point is, for this rant is, if you like a certain thing, just like it. You really don't need to tear down another thing in order to like your thing. It's not required. Okay? So, yeah. So, we're going to be talking about vampires for the next few weeks. Because vampires. I really like vampires. One of the videos, I'm going to show you some of my vampire books I have in my collection. And one of my favorite vampire movies, probably the favorite. It's a very kind of short story type of thing, but I'll tell you all about that in the next video. Actually, I think I reviewed it before in the past. But anyway, we're going to talk about it a little bit more. And I'll show you some of my yummies in my collection. So, Rant Part 1 over. Vampires are being talked about more because Stephanie Meyer's new book came out. I bought it. I don't care. I like Twilight. I don't care. I don't like Interview with the Vampire the movie. I don't care. So, you can like what you like. I'm not telling you not to like it. But please respect other people's opinion about liking and disliking their entertainment choices. You don't, again, need to tear down something to build something else up. You don't need to do that, okay? Just like what you like and let live. Alright, I'll see you in the next video. Stay scared.